This conference will now be recorded.
Hello guys, welcome back. So now here we'll see the configuration part of withholding tax. So let me log in first and then we'll show you. Now, so this time for configurations, I'm going to use path. Now here I'll tell you guys, or even in the previous session also, I told you that you can use path or transaction code, either path or transaction code, whichever you feel easy. So now in case of withholding tax configurations, see, we talk about the involvement of transaction code. Then here transaction codes are going to be routed through a table and also it's very difficult to remember the transaction code and all. Now here simply we are going to use path, use SPRO first, and then click on reference IMG, and then here expand this financial accounting new global setting, and then here you are having withholding tax, right? Expand this withholding tax. Now here you need to select this withholding tax, extended withholding tax, because whatever the latest some differences are there guys in a withholding tax and extended withholding tax. Withholding tax, like some limited number of functionalities was there which was being used earlier. Right now extended withholding tax itself is going to be used, guys. So here you just expand this extended withholding tax. Now basic setting, calculation, multiple to have a look one by one. So first of all, expand this basic setting. Here in basic setting, what you have to do country. So most likely already if you are using online server, then most likely the country will be set up. In case of offline server, in the sense like if you get it installed from somewhere, in that case what is happening, you need to click on here and then click on new entry, and then you have to give your country code here, right? We are going to give a country code here. But in my case, what is happening, guys? This is already, I know it is set up here. I'll check it first. Okay, click on back button. Now here, click on position, and it is already somewhere. It is already set up, right? So now no need to set up it. If it is not set up, in that case only you have to set up. Now withholding tax key. So here in withholding tax key, you just do one thing. Give your country code. And look at here, multiple withholding tax key is already given, like 194A, 194C, 194I, 194H, right? This I is for rent only, not 10%. Some people have specified 10% like that. But this descriptions will not be there, right? So here, whatever the sections are there, those sections are going to be specified here. So how many sections will be there and what is this code and all, that is going to be specified by your client itself, right? So here, this is also, I'm not going to do anything, or else simply you can click on new entry and then you can, whatever the required codes are there, that can be configured. So now here, this whatever withholding tax key is there, you change it. Yes, I want to change it because I've made some small changes. We are going to whenever you guys are going to define the tax type and tax code, then at that point of time you have to, this tax, let's suppose the tax is going to be deducted 10%, then this tax is going to be deducted under which sections? 194I, 194J, right? So that logic you will come to know, don't worry, I'm going to explain that. Now define region for exemptions. Nothing, it's not required, guys. If you're having, like, there is a separate scenario, there is a separate situation called exemptions, it is relevant to that. So again, I'll record a separate session on this withholding tax where, like, I'm going to explain in all these details and all multiple scenarios are going to be explained, guys. Okay, so or might be by the time we are watching this, might be this tutorial is recorded. So you can check in my profile. But right now, as a beginner, as a freshers, first of all, you should have some idea like what is this withholding tax and configurations and deductions and all. Then you can go for advanced level and all. Now, so here, nothing else. You just do one thing. Click on calculation. Here we are going to define withholding tax type. So you just execute here this one. Define withholding tax type for invoice posting. Just execute and press enter. Now here I'll tell you. So what is this? I'll let you know. Oh, so here tax type I'm going to give TT. I don't know which this transaction code is, this tax type is getting accepted or not. It is getting accepted. So TT I have given. Just save it. Now what is the use of this tax type, right? And that I'll let you know. Don't worry. First of all, so what I have defined a tax type. And then what next, guys? The next one is you have to define a tax code also. Okay, so define a tax code here. Now click on inventory. I'll tell you guys one thing. When I define a tax type, right? So at the time of defining tax type, if somebody asks at what level tax type has been defined, at what level the tax code is going to be defined, that I'll let you know. First of all, give your tax type here, and even tax code also I'm going to give same. Okay, and here withholding tax key 194I, 194J. Like let's suppose this I'm going to define this tax type. I have defined this tax code. I have defined for, let's suppose, related to rent. So rent means what, guys? Rent deduction is there as per which sections? 194I, that is already we have defined. So here we can TDS on rent, you can say TDS on rent, this descriptions. And now here how much percent rent? 10%. Posting indicator you have to give 1. Why? Because see, you'll be having 3 indicators, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so 2 is a country specific setting, guys, that particularly it is going to be used in the case of Argentina, whereas like 1 and 3. So 1 is like if let's suppose if the TDS is going to be deducted on vendor customer, in that case 1 is going to be. Sometimes what is happening, guys, TDS is going to be deducted in terms of expenses. So in the sense like Tata Motor is going to deduct the TDS, and in the sense deduction is not possible, in the sense like vendor has sent you an invoice and vendor is saying that I need full payment. If invoice I have sent worth of 1,000, I need the payment of 1,000 itself, but the tax deduction is mandatory, it's required. So now what is happening? So here vendor is saying that I need full payment. At the same time, the tax department, like once they are going to perform the audit, they will come to know that this much worth of services we have taken from our books of account. They will come to know. So they will ask like, okay, this much tax you're supposed to pay. Where is the tax? So that tax is also supposed to be deducted, and the full payment is going to be made to the vendor also. So in that case, now what is happening? So tax is going to be paid from our own pocket. In the sense, Tata Motor is going to make payment of the taxes from their own pocket, right? In that case, whatever TDS got deducted, that is going to be treated as expense. A different concept is there for that. Okay, that is, as I told you, like there will be a separate tutorial for this withholding tax where like in details I have explained advanced level. So there is all scenario I have explained. Right now here posting indicator keep 1, and how much percentage tax is going to be deducted, guys? The tax percentage will be 10%. Now here there is one more thing, percentage subject to tax. I'm going to give 100. Save it. Now what is this 100? So I'll tell you. Now let's suppose this is what the accounting entry, right? In the previous session I have explained that rent is, let's suppose 1,000, vendor account is going to be credited with 900 and 10% TDS got deducted. Now, so here what is happening, guys? Now, so this like, let's suppose we are having invoice worth of what? How much? Invoice is worth of 1,000. If you're going to post the invoice in SAP, I'll show you guys invoice is worth of 1,000, right? Here 1,000 worth of invoice we have received from vendor, and out of which 10% TDS got deducted. So this TDS got deducted on which amount, guys? This amount. So this is called base amount. On which amount the tax is getting deducted, guys? The amount on which the tax is getting deducted, that is called base amount, right? This is called base amount. Now, so here the base amount. So if I say is that this whatever the base amount is there, out of which like only 75% of the base amount is subject to tax. It means out of like 1000. So what is the 75% of 1000 guys? So it is 750, right? So what is the, it means the base amount is like, let's suppose, so what is the 70% of 75% of this base amount? That is 750. And on that 10% TDS, in the sense 10% is withholding tax. So how much it is? It is going to be 75 only. So this is what the concept. So here what is happening, guys? Here I said 100%, 100% is going to be here. Like how much percentage subject to tax, guys? 100%. It means 100% of the base amount is subject to tax. If you are going to specify 75% here, then whatever base amount is there, system is going to calculate 75% of the base amount. And on that, whatever the tax percentage is there, let's suppose 10%, then system is going to calculate 10% TDS, right? Now the question is, what do you mean by, like, what is the difference between tax type and tax code? Or what do you mean by tax type? What do you mean by tax code? So I'll explain in a very simple way. Simple way in the sense, like, you just do one thing. So here, what I said, like, okay, so whatever this tax calculation is happening, that is happening on base amount, right? Now what is happening? So let's suppose we are having, okay, I have shown you guys, whenever we are going to define a tax code is going to be defined under tax type. Now let's suppose there is a requirement. What requirement? That if a rent means, if it is like, if the vendor is an individual, then different percentage is going to be, different TDS is going to be charged. If the vendor is an organization, then different percentage is going to be charged. Say for example, if vendor is an individual, then 5% TDS. If vendor is an organization, then 10% TDS is going to be deducted, whatever rent invoice is there. So in that case, what is happening, guys? Two different tax code is going to be defined, right? Whichever tax code we are defining, guys, the tax codes are going to be defined under a particular tax type. Now here the question is, what is the use of tax type, right? So now here, I'll tell you. So now the tax type means, like, let's suppose I have defined a tax type TT. Under that, T1 and T2, two different tax code is going to be defined, 5% and 10%. Okay, so here TT means what? Now TT means, let's suppose this 5% or 10%. This 5% or 10%. So this calculation is going to happen on which amount, guys? Base amount, right? Now base amount could be different one. Different one in the sense, like, let's suppose the invoice is worth 1,000. Okay, and then on that, vendor is going to apply, so vendor is going to charge some GST also, or is some service tax also, based on your country. In your country, whatever the taxes are there, you just assume that one. So now here, 100 tax, this is your invoice amount, and this is tax. Which tax, guys? Indirect tax I'm talking about. Okay, so what is total? Total is 1100. This is what the total invoice amount. Now I'll tell you guys. So here, in a particular invoice, so this amount is called net amount, and this amount is called gross amount, right? So here, what will happen, guys? Now TDS is going to be, in the sense, withholding tax is going to be deducted on which amount? Net amount or gross amount? If it is going to be deducted on this amount, net amount, then net amount is going to be treated as a base amount, right? If it is going to be deducted on gross amount, then gross amount is going to be deducted. Gross amount is going to be treated as base amount. So where is this control, guys? This control is there at tax type level. In the sense, it's tax type which is going to decide that the whatever the TDS, in the sense whatever withholding tax is there, whether it is 5% or 10%, whatever it is. So this tax amount is going to be deducted on which, like, what should be the base amount? Base amount is going to be the net amount or gross amount. So this control is there at tax type level. And tax code means what? Tax code is going to decide what percentage, what is the percentage, like how much percentage is going to be deducted in the form of withholding tax. Percentage we are going to specify at tax code level, right? And the tax deduction will happen with either on like base amount or gross amount, in the sense like, so what is, sorry, net amount and gross amount, right? So what should be the tax base amount is going to be controlled by tax type, right? And how much percentage is going to be deducted, that is going to be controlled by tax code. So if you talk about the calculation of withholding tax, this is going to happen with the combination of both. Tax type is also important and tax code is also important. On which amount is it going to be calculated, guys? This amount or this amount? This is going to be decided by system with the help of tax type. And if, let's suppose, system came to know that, okay, this is on net amount itself, the TDS is going to be deducted, in the sense withholding tax is going to be deducted, then how much percentage is going to be deducted is going to be decided by your tax code. This is what just a simplest definitions. Multiple things can be added, guys. Once you have a perfect understanding later on, like once you complete this tutorial and all, then you'll be having a good understanding about the things, right? Then as per your understanding and all, if you're having better understanding, you can add multiple things, but at least this much is expected by interviewer. I'll tell you guys, there are multiple people, even might be some of you might have taken training from somewhere, or you might have taken access of some different tutorials also, right? So the thing is, like, we should know the concept, isn't it? So this is how you have to explain. Now here, so what I've done, I've created a tax code also. Click on back button and click on back button. And one more thing, guys, now here the tax type. So if you talk about the tax code is going to be defined at which level, guys? So tax code is going to be defined at tax type level, in the sense inside of tax type you can define multiple tax code. Okay, now one more thing. And so here there might be chances, like sometime what happens, like what to say, this tax type and tax code we have defined, and this is going to be assigned where? This is going to be assigned to the vendor master, and this is how system will be able to trigger the correct percentage. That I'll show you practically. If I'm going to explain here, then again you guys are going to be confused. So right now what I have done, we have defined tax type, we have defined tax code. Now proceed further. So here you just do one thing. Now click on, so in company code, click on company code and assign withholding tax type to company code. So whatever tax type I have defined, guys, whatever the tax type we have defined, so this tax type is going to be assigned against your company code, right? So it means under company code we are having tax type, and under tax type we are having tax code, right? So tax code is created at which level, guys? Tax type level. And tax type is created at which level, guys? This is created at company code level. It means there is an assignment, isn't it? So there is a dependency here. So creation of tax type is there at company code level, right? And creation of tax code is there at tax type level. Now here, okay. So now here we'll do one thing. Assign withholding tax code to the company code. So you execute this one, and here click on new entry, give your company code here, TM00, and tax type. So I've defined tax type TT. You must have to apply this checkbox, then only the TDS is going to be calculated, and a validity is going to be given, guys. So I'm going to give this validity generally for every tax type. This is what the validity we are going to give. Okay, save it. Okay, so now just click on back button and back button. Okay, activate extended withholding tax. So why this activation is required, and what will happen, what is the impact if you are going to activate this withholding tax, right? So I'll tell you now here. this is till now the withholding tax functionality is not activated for this particular company code. Okay, how you will come to know it is not activated? So you just do one thing. We have already created the vendor master. Go to XK02. What is your vendor master number, guys? So that I'll have to check it here. So check what is your vendor master, give your company code. So this is our vendor master. And now if you click on address tab, look at here, we came to address. If you are going to click on, let's suppose this tab, you will go to this accounting info, right? Informations. In the same way, if you click on withholding tax tab, then you should go to withholding tax tabular. But if you press enter, look at your system is saying that extended withholding tax functionality is not active. Once again, I'll check mark and press enter. So every time you are going to get this message. So it means we are not able to go in this tab. Why? Because it is not active yet. So what we have to do in that case? In that case, you have to come here and activate this. So how to activate, guys? Click on position and give your company code and apply a check mark. So what is the impact? If you apply a check mark here, save it first, press enter and enter. So what is the impact, guys? The impact is if you apply a check mark here, then now this withholding tax tab become active. It is activated here. Okay, press enter. Now still we are having same problem, right? I'll apply check mark once again and press enter. Still we are having same problem. So why? Even though we have activated, still we are unable to go inside. Why? Because this screen I have opened before the changes. In the sense, activation I have made just now, but this screen was open before the activations. So what you have to do, guys? Once again you have to use /nxk02. It means we have to refresh this screen. So press enter. Now your screen got refreshed, and you select withholding tax tab and press enter. Now it is activated. Okay, what next, guys? So come back here on the configuration, and we have already saved it. Now you just click on back button, press enter. What next? So next one is posting. Posting means now. So here in posting, what is happening, guys? We have to assign the withholding tax code. Withholding tax GL account. Okay, because I told you that this GL account, whenever we are going to post a transaction, system is going to determine this tax GL account automatically. How system is going to determine this tax GL account automatically, guys? So for that we have to do configurations. We have to do for that we have to create a GL account. Okay, so you have to do one thing here. You just go to FS00 and we are going to set up a GL account. So GL supposed to be created under which account group? Now, so whatever the tax is getting deducted, guys, this is your liability, right? So under liability account we are going to create, because even though the tax deduction is happened, it doesn't mean that we are going to keep on in our own pocket. This is not our money. This is not your money. You are deducting tax on behalf of somebody. So what will happen? After certain time, you must have to refund, return this amount to the particular person, right? You have to, pay this amount. You have to remit this taxes to the tax department, right? So this is our liability. It means, so click on create button, and I'm going to give a next GL 2000 and 2001 is there. So next GL 2002. Press enter here, and liability account group, and liability is the part of balance sheet. And here you can give any GL like TDS on rent, or else withholding tax on rent, or else withholding tax account. You can create whatever nomenclature. So GL naming convention or like nomenclature of this GL account, right? So what should be the name, long text, short text? This is also not our decision, guys. Your client will let you know that how many GLs are required, and what is the name of this GL accounts and all. I'm going to create withholding tax account, okay, or is TDS on rent account. You can create, anything can be. So I'm going to give, okay. Now click on control, and a normal GL we are going to set up page. So you give sort key also, and here we'll status group, save it. So what I have done, I have created a GL account withholding tax account, right? So now select this withholding tax, withholding account for withholding tax here, and just execute. Give your chart of account. So I think this is your chart of account. Yes. And here, see, if you have the multiple GL accounts, let's suppose for rent account, I have created a different, GL account, right? For rent, TDS on rent, like withholding tax on rent, that is going to be posted in a different GL. TDS, which is deducted on the professional services, in the sense withholding tax, which is deducted on professional services, is supposed to be posted in a different GL. If client is saying that the tax which is deducted on the contractor services, that is supposed to be posted into a different GL, in that case multiple GL accounts are going to be created, right? So how system is going to determine the GL account, guys? In that case you have to apply a check mark here in tax type and tax code, and against the combination of tax type and tax code, what is happening, we are going to assign the GL account, right? Since you are having a single GL, in that case you can remove the check mark also, or else even if you want to keep, you can keep it, just save it, control S. So here tax type is also TT and tax code is also TT, and GL account which I have created is 2002. That I'm able to remember. If you're unable to remember, you can click on this drop down and you can check it, or else you can go to FL00 and once again you have to check what is the GL account which you have set up. Save it, control S. So now we have done with the configurations. GL account assignment is done. It means when we are going to perform the testing, system is going to trigger this GL account. How? So based on the configurations, right? Now, apart from this, so what is your tax type and tax code, is TT and TT. Now, so whatever tax type and tax code we have defined, that is supposed to be assigned to your vendor master. So go to XK02 and then here withholding tax, select it, press enter, and here you need to assign TT, and here also TT, and apply a check mark here. Withholding tax country also you have to give, and then save it, press enter. So now what we have done, guys, we have done with the configurations. Now the configurations. So after that we have to perform testing. We'll post the transactions and we'll see that whatever things we have done is working fine or not, because but again in next session I'm going to explain that the testing part, and I hope certain errors are also going to appear. So these all things I'll let you know that what kind of errors may appear if first time you're going to do the configurations, and how to rectify those errors and the testing part. So that's all in this session, guys.